good because today we're diving deep into the Sunland Park Oaks.
Yeah, it's a $250,000 race.
Wow.
For 3-year-old fillies.
Nice.
And the top 4 finishers actually earn points towards qualifying for the Kentucky Oaks. So this is
Oh, cool.
This is a really big race.
Oh, wow. So to help us figure out, who to bet on,
Yeah.
we have 2 expert sources, the Brisnet Form and the Racing Form report. So I'm excited to dive into that and see what they have to say about the horses and the track, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the track is going to be a big part of this deep dive.
Oh, okay. How so?
So Sunland Park, which is where this race is taking place, has a little quirk, you could say. It's known for heavily favoring horses with early speed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so horses that burst out of the gate
Yeah.
and take an early lead, they tend to do really well on this track.
So that's something we really have to keep in mind when we're making our picks.
Absolutely. It's going to be a key factor.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the favorite.
Okay.
Both sources point to #4 Maysam as like the one to beat.
Yeah, she is looking pretty tough to beat right now.
Okay, so why is she such a strong contender?
Well, first of all, she's got the highest prime power rating out of all the horses in the field.
Remind me what that is again?
Prime power?
Yeah.
It's basically like a power ranking for racehorses.
Oh, okay.
Developed by Brisnet, so they
Got it.
They use it to kind of give you a sense of how strong a horse is.
Okay.
And she's got the top rating.
Gotcha.
Also, her last race speed rating was 87.
Wow.
Which is blazing fast. And she's trained by, the legendary Bob Baffert.
Oh, wow. Okay, so she's the full package, it sounds like.
She seems like she is.
But, I mean, there's always a but in horse racing, right?
Right.
So what's the catch with Maysam?
The catch is that she's never raced a full mile before. And this race, the Sunland Park Oaks, is a mile.
Ooh.
So the question is, can she handle the distance? Can she maintain that speed for a full mile?
That's a good question.
That is the big question.
All right, well, let's move on then to a horse who has already proven she can handle a mile.
Okay.
#2, Runnin N Gunnin.
Runnin N Gunnin, yep. She is a really interesting contender as well.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about her.
So she actually already had a mile win under her belt, which is a huge advantage, obviously, in a mile race.
Right.
And on top of that, she is trained by Steve Asmussen,
Okay.
who has a phenomenal win rate at Sunland Park, like almost 67%.
Wow. Okay, so she has the experience at the distance, and she's got a trainer who knows how to win at this track.
Yep.
So what's the downside?
Well, the downside is that this race is actually a step up in class for her.
Okay.
So she's going to be facing tougher competition than she has in the past.
Okay, interesting. Now, I noticed, looking at the entries, that #5 Enchanting is also trained by Asmussen.
Yes, she is.
So could there be, could she be a contender in this race?
She could be. It's kind of hard to say for sure with her. She's definitely shown improvement in her recent races, but this will be her first time racing a route distance.
Okay.
Which is a big jump from sprints.
So are we thinking like long shot here?
Yeah, maybe a long shot, but with Asmussen as her trainer, you can't count her out.
Right, because he's got that great win rate.
Exactly. So, she might surprise us.
Okay, so we've got kind of a mix of contenders here, right? We've got the favorite Maysam, who's super fast but hasn't raced the distance before.
Yeah.
We've got Runnin N Gunnin, who's got the distance experience but might be facing tougher competition.
Right.
And then we've got Enchanting, who's kind of a wild card.
Totally a wild card.
But okay,
But.
with that Sunland Park track bias towards early speed,
Right.
who do you think has the best chance of grabbing that early lead?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what we need to figure out.
Yeah.
So let's break down each contender a little bit more and see how their past performances line up with this unique track bias.
Okay, sounds good. So let's start with the favorite, Maysam.
Okay. Well, if we look back at her debut, she actually won a sprint race.
Okay.
And just blew everyone away.
Oh, wow.
And remember that 87 speed rating?
Yeah.
That came from that race?
Oh.
So, she's got the speed, but it was a sprint. So now we're talking about stretching her out to a mile.
Yeah.
Her pedigree suggests she might have the stamina for it, but we just don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's like, can she keep up that pace, or is she going to, fizzle out?
Right. Yeah. If she can handle the distance, she's probably going to win.
Yeah.
Because she's just that fast.
Yeah.
But if she fades in the last quarter mile, it's really anyone's race.
Oh, man. Talk about a gamble.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about Runnin N Gunnin then?
Yeah.
How does her early speed compare to Maysam's?
I mean, she can run.
Yeah.
But her strength really seems to be more about consistency and stamina
Okay.
rather than raw speed.
Okay.
She's not necessarily going to set a blistering pace right out of the gate.
Gotcha.
But she's probably going to be able to maintain a pretty steady, reliable pace.
Yeah.
Which is, good for a mile race.
Yeah.
You need that endurance.
Right. She's like the tortoise to the hare, just slow and steady wins the race.
Oh, exactly.
I like that. Okay, so how about Enchanting? Like, is there any indication that she might be, one of these early speed types?
It's tough to say for sure.
Yeah.
Her previous races were all sprints, and she did show some decent early speed in those races, but
Okay.
nothing, crazy.
Okay.
I mean, nothing that would make her a standout, especially at Sunland Park. It's really her first time running a route, so it's hard to predict how she's going to perform.
She's a wild card.
Yeah, total wild card.
Okay, so we've got our speed human.
Yep.
Our steady competitor.
And
our wild
Wild
card.
card, yeah.
This could be an interesting race.
Very interesting, yeah.
Okay, so the Racing Form report mentioned something called the magic formula.
Oh, yeah, the magic formula.
And they said they use it to find winning bets. So what is this formula all about?
Yeah, so it's not, actually magic or anything.
Yeah.
But it does consider multiple factors when analyzing races.
Okay.
Like it takes into account things like prime power,
Oh, okay.
speed figures, trainer history, recent form, even the market value of the horse. So it's really like a holistic approach.
Okay, so like a more well-rounded,
Yeah.
looking at all the different pieces.
Yeah, rather than just looking at, one stat in isolation.
Okay.
It tries to give you a bigger picture.
Okay, so how does this magic formula, how does it apply to our, top contenders in the Sunland Park Oaks?
Yeah, so let's look at Maysam first.
Okay.
She has the highest prime power, right?
Right.
Most impressive speed figures.
Okay.
But, lack of experience at the distance, that's going to be a big question mark. And
Yeah.
I think Reformula would probably flag that as a potential risk.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
How about Runnin N Gunnin?
Okay. Yeah, how about her?
So the magic formula would likely highlight, her experience at the mile distance.
Right.
And, of course, Steve Asmussen's, track record.
Oh, yeah, at Sunland.
At Sunland.
Yep.
Which is, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Her speed figures are good,
Okay.
but not spectacular.
Okay.
So the formula might suggest that she's a good contender for like a place or a show bet,
Gotcha.
but maybe not a win bet.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
And then her wild card, Enchanting.
Yeah.
The formula would probably flag her as a high risk, high reward type of bet.
Okay.
Right? Her prime power and speed figures are decent,
Okay.
but she's stepping up in class, stepping up in distance.
Yes.
So the formula might suggest she's a long shot,
Gotcha.
but with the potential to,
Yeah.
really surprise
If
she exceeds expectations.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. So like the formula can kind of help us weigh like the pros and cons of each horse.
Yeah, definitely.
But ultimately the decision is still up to us, right?
Of course, yeah.
The bettors.
Yeah.
And we've got to use our own judgment and like, maybe trust our gut a little bit.
Absolutely.
But this formula is like a good tool to help us, make a more informed decision.
For sure. It can definitely point you in the right direction.
Okay, awesome. So beyond the horse analysis and this magic formula, what other betting strategies should we be thinking about for this race?
Yeah, so the Racing Form report actually suggests a few different approaches.
Okay, cool.
So like if you're feeling really confident in Maysam and her odds are good, a simple win bet might be a good option.
Right, just bet that she wins.
Exactly, yeah, keep it simple.
Okay, what if I want to spread my bet across a couple of horses?
Okay, so for that, they suggest something called an Exacta box.
Exacta box.
Yep. So with that, you basically pick 2 horses that you think will finish first and second in any order.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't matter which one comes first?
Doesn't matter.
You just got to have those 2 horses in the top 2?
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so it's a little safer than just a straight win bet.
Yeah. Now, what if I'm feeling really lucky and I want to go for like a bigger payout?
Okay, well, for the more adventurous bettors, there's always the Trifecta key.
Trifecta key.
So with the Trifecta key, you pick 1 horse to win.
Okay.
And then 2 other horses to finish second and third.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In any order.
Okay, so you're picking the top 3.
The top 3.
Yep. Oh, wow.
So that's obviously, higher risk.
Yeah.
But potentially higher rewards.
Higher reward, yeah. If you get it right, you're making bank.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that we've got, like, options for every type of gamblers.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, these are, just a few suggestions.
Yeah.
There's obviously tons of other betting strategies out there.
Right.
But I think the key is, understanding the risks and rewards of each approach.
Yeah.
And choosing one that, fits your comfort level and your budget.
And your budget, yeah, very important.
Absolutely.
Don't bet more than you can afford to lose.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Okay, I'm feeling like a more informed bettor already.
Good, that's the goal.
I know, right? Like, I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot. We talked about the favorites.
Yes.
The underdogs.
That
track bias.
The
magic formula.
Magic.
Even, like, basic betting strategies.
Yep.
But before we wrap things up, is there anything else that our listeners should keep in mind when, when they're thinking about betting on this race?
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that, things change quickly in horse racing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, new information could come to light. Horses can scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Odds can shift.
Yeah.
So, we can't just rely on, like, the information we have right now.
Right.
We need to stay informed right up to the start of the race.
Right.
Be ready to adapt our strategies as needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like all part of the thrill of the race, though, right?
Yeah, you got to stay on your toes.
Stay on your toes. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to play some bets.
Me too.
Thanks for all the insights. I'm feeling much more prepared. So let's wrap up and see what final thoughts you have for our listeners. So any final words of wisdom before we send our listeners off to, place their bets?
Let's circle back to that Sunland Park track bias one more time.
Okay, yeah.
I know we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But it really can't be overstated. Early skeet is king at this track.
Early skeet is king. Got it.
It's crucial.
Okay. And we've got 3 very different contenders, when it comes to early speed.
Yeah.
We've got Maysam, who, she could beat a rocket.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
A total rocket.
We've got Runnin N Gunnin, who's more, steady.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah. Steady Eddie.
Yeah.
And then we've got Enchanting. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Total wild card.
Right. Total wild card.
Yeah.
So when you're making your picks, really think about, like, who do you think is going to grab that early lead?
Yeah.
And can they maintain that advantage for a full mile?
It's not just about, like, getting out of the gate fast.
Right.
You got to be able to keep it up for the whole race.
I'm starting to think that, like, watching the early part of this race is going to be almost as important as, analyzing all the stats and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And, even if a horse doesn't burst out of the gate, a really good jockey can still position them, strategically to take advantage of that bias.
Right.
So it's going to be a fascinating chess match, I think.
Yeah.
Between the jockeys and the horses.
This is going to be a good one. I'm really excited about this race now.
Me too. It's going to be a nail biter.
All right. So to our listeners, we've given you the expert insights.
Yeah.
We've broken down the contenders.
Yeah.
We've explored this magic formula.
A magic formula.
Now it's your turn to make those tough decisions.
Yeah. Do your research.
Yeah.
Consider that track bias.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts.
Yes.
And most importantly, enjoy the thrill of the Sunland Park Oaks.
That's right, folks. It's time to put your handicapping skills to the test. Good luck, and may the best filly win.